Hello everyone, I'm Prerna Agarwal. I'm the Faculty of Public Relations at JIMMC. Today I'm going to introduce you to the subject of public relations. Many of you would have heard of the name public relations, but for maximum of you it would be a fairly new term. You have come across advertising, you have come across events, but PR is something which you might not have heard of. So when you talk of PR, it is basically about understanding the product, understanding the company or an individual, and create a strong image of them. Strong image necessarily does not mean a good image. In today's world, a lot of celebrities strive on a desired image, on a gray image. People love them for that. So, in books, when we read of definitions, it would say good image, but the evolved definition would say it would create a desired image. PR is specifically very popular amongst small businesses, especially the upcoming businesses, mainly for one reason that in comparison to events, in comparison to advertising, it is very less costly. uh, Mainly a lot of PR agencies strive on the tactics like press releases, which an individual could write or hire somebody to write them for. They also do event sponsorships, but PR is not just about press conferences and press releases. It is fairly a very broad field. Lot of organizations are involved in PR. Many activities are considered PR. It is an evolved and evolving field. It is harder to define clearly that which is constantly evolving. PR also consists of a lot of negative stereotypes, you know, like especially related to government relationships. But again, I would start with the definition of PR. The first definition is from the PRSSA. Public relations is a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between organization and its publics. Now, who is publics? When we talk of the term public, you imagine a lot of people standing. But when it comes to an organization, it has various levels of publics, like starting from employees, their first public, employees at all levels. Then the media, NGOs, governments, competitors, stakeholders, investors, which you call them. So, publics is not just about your consumers or your potential consumers. Everybody attached to a particular organization would be considered their public. PR is a management function that establishes and maintains mutually beneficial relationships between an organization and its public on whom its success and failure depends on. But a common question would be, is PR different from advertising? Is it a different part of marketing? Is it same as media relation? So I would one by one I would clear all those questions. PR is not same as advertising. Advertising is an information placed in media by an identified sponsor that pays for time and space. It is a controlled method of placing messages in a media. So, for example, an organization says, I want to buy a particular slot in TV, or an organization says, I want to buy a particular space on a billboard or in a newspaper. So they pay for that particular space for that particular time period. They can say, I want that particular piece on above left hand corner of the newspaper or on that particular billboard. It is in their hand, they would be paying for that. So it is a controlled method. An organization or an individual can control that time or space. So But in PR, when we send a press release writing about a particular brand launch or a particular conference, so we cannot control what space we would be getting in that publication or in that channel. Possibly, if we are lucky enough, we would be getting the front page. But if we are not that lucky enough, we would be getting a very small space in the left hand or in the right hand corner of that newspaper. So we cannot control where that message would be distributed. So advertising and PR basically are both, both the eyes of marketing. So essentially it would be that advertising we can control and PR we cannot. We can choose the media which we are sending the press release to, but how they are releasing our message is not in our hands. Okay, PR is a part of marketing, yes, but marketing as a whole is the management function that identifies human needs and wants, offers products and services to satisfy those demands, and causes transactions that deliver products and services to the users in exchange of something of value to the provider. So basically, marketing's goal is to attract and satisfy consumers in order to secure a market share or make money. PR, on the other hand, fairly works on image management. Okay, so when we okay, the third thing which maximum people confuse is media relations. Is PR equivalent to media relations? No, media relations is one sphere. What actually we in PR we do is crisis communication, media relations, exports, export communication, your event planning, your internal communication, your digital media, your reputation management, community relations, and everything in between. So I'll touch upon each and every term very quickly. Media relations is about building media relations and then maintaining them. We do them through press releases, through press conferences, through backgrounders, through media alerts, which we would touch upon in the later part of the session. Event planning, it could be a very small event, let's say a breakfast for 10 people who would be your stakeholders, or it would be a huge event, a sponsorship, like you might have heard of XYZ sponsoring a particular award show, or a particular sports event. So that is also a PR activity. Crisis communication, you might have heard of Maggie crisis or Cadbury's crisis. So in PR, we come across to media, we come across to social media, we come across to consumers, and we try and change the image which was hampered by a crisis. Then there would be community relations, like जिसको you would have heard of CSR campaigns, corporate social responsibility. Like you might have seen that ad of Procter and Gamble in which they say if you buy a bigger packet of P&G products, some amount of the money would be going to a particular Shiksha foundation. Or if you would have used classmate books, which is a part of ITC, you would see that the a portion of their money earned would be going towards education of underprivileged kids. So that is a community relations. It works on various levels. Then is reputation management, like you would have heard, you would be following a lot of people on Instagram and on Twitter. So every now and then they would be doing something and they would be posting it. So that is reputation management which celebrities are doing. Similarly, your political parties do that, organizations do that. Every small thing which they're doing in favor of society, they post it online. They talk about it on media, they do interviews on TV channels or interviews on print media. So they all it is all about creating a good or desired reputation. Then would be your internal communication, which is also called employee communication. Employee would be the basic word of mouth publicity for an organization. They could make or break the image of an organization. Employees necessarily does not mean only the top level employees. There would be as basic as the guards standing in front of the organization. If they are unhappy in in the times of crisis, they might be the ones saying the worst thing about your organization to the media. So we also create very good relations with the employees. So uh, so to sum up, what exactly does PR do? uh, PR involves a planned, sustained program as a part of organization's management. Planned means you plan it for another 3 months and then you maintain it. It's not like a one time activity, you have to keep on doing it. It deals with the relationship between an organization and its stakeholder and publics. It monitors awareness, opinions, attitudes, behavior both inside the organization as well as outside the organization. It also analyzes the impact of organization policies, procedures, and actions on the public. So, whatever the organization is changing in its policies or the procedures, so related to it, if the public is being impacted by it, so it analyzes it, and if the impact is negative, it tries to minimize it as well. It also identify and adjust policies, procedures, and actions that conflicts with the public interest and organization survival. So I'll share a very small example. Maggie, you most of you eat Maggie, and if not eat Maggie, you know it by the name. So Maggie, in 2015, there was a petition filed against Maggie saying that on its packaging, it's mentioned that it has lower amount. It was mentioned in the packaging that it has a lower amount of lead content, which was not the case. So in Gorakhpur, a petition was filed that the packaging is delusional and it diverts us from the reality. So a fine of 5 lakh rupees was put on Maggie. But Maggie thought it's a very secluded case. It would not create such a havoc. But that petition was taken up by a lot of media houses, and by 2 or 3 days later, Maggie was facing a lot of negative impact. Now, as a company, they should have come forward and said and talked about it that we are looking into the matter. But they thought कि instead of speaking, we would keep quiet. And that 15-16 days of delay in communication from Maggie made sure that the people start thinking of Maggie uh, as a brand which is not concerned about people's safety, people's health. And within 3 months, Maggie, which enjoyed around 75% market share in the noodles market, it went down to 0% because Maggie had to pull away each and every packet out of the market. Now, the delay in communication led to a lot of backlog for Maggie. To re establish itself, they had to create a whole process which took them back 6 months. The profits went back 6 months. So, as a PRO of Nestle company, they should have dealt with the relationship between Maggie and its public. It necessarily does not mean कि if media was creating negative publicity, they could have at least talked about it on social media. It took them another 3 months to come on social media and create a statement. So it was a very bad negative PR which they did. So PR also, monitors awareness, opinions, attitudes. It also, at times PR also counsels management on establishment of new policies, procedures, actions that are mutually beneficial to the organization and its public. At times management is not ready with substance to talk about, so PR also counsels them. And last but not the least, PR establishes and maintains two-way communication between an organization and its public. It's not that the organization will be giving a press release and that's it. If the public is disappointed or public is very happy, they can also come forward and talk to the organization, and the organization should be communicating with them. This produces a measurable change in awareness, opinion, attitude, and behavior. And the result is that not only it makes new relationship, it also maintains relationship between organization and its public. So now, I would introduce you to the subject of employee communication. Employee communication or internal communication is mainly meant for communicating with the employees, your first public. So it basically builds and then maintains a mutual beneficial relationship between the managers, executives, uh, the entry level employees, and the top level employees with the organization, because organizations success is mainly it depends on the employees. So uh, there are various ways in which we touch upon with the employees, starting from induction literature. Induction literature is that basic pamphlet which an employee gets when they join the organization. Now you would ask, why is that very necessary? See, if the organization is very huge, it has 1000 employees, 1500 employees, it is impossible for a new person to actually reach to the boss and ask ki where would I be sitting, what would be the my lunch timings, what clothes should I be wearing. So to make that first 1 week very easy and very comfortable for that employee, we do a we provide them with the induction literature, which would mention what all will be the benefits the employee would be getting, what would be the lunch timings, off timings, who would be the person they would be talking in the HR department if they face any problem, what all Sudoxo coupons or possibly any other amenities which the office is providing, any details of clubs which the organization is associated with, or any other companies which would be beneficial for the employee because they have joined the particular organization, gym facilities, swimming facilities, anything in between. So that is all mentioned in written. Just like when you join a college, you are given a prospectus which would make it easier for you to understand the college working. Similarly, an induction literature makes it easy for an employee. Then another way in which the organizations are talking to the employees is through through bulletin boards. Bulletin boards, just like your office, just like your college bulletin boards, organization puts up anything new which they need to tell to the employees through their bulletin boards. Now, bulletin board is also reversely used by employees to put up something which they find creative enough to share. It could be a photograph, it could be an article, a poem which they would like to put up. Now, the purpose of putting up the organization to allow this to put up is that the person working, the employee, does not turn into a zombie. Okay. They would also have a creative outlet. And the second purpose is to reduce attrition rate. Every organization in today's world is facing a lot of problem of attrition. So when creatively a person puts up something, and they are appreciated about it, they start feeling much more comfortable in an organization, which leads them not to leave an organization. Similarly, newsletters are used. Newsletters is, you might have seen a tabloid kind of a paper. These days, organization use e-newsletters, in which they would be mentioning everything, on a weekly, fortnightly, monthly, or in smaller organization in 3 months, in all the branches, whatever new is happening, new projects, new joinees, new recruitments, or people who are leaving the organization, any development or any losses which the organization is feeling, which they want to share with their employees, is shared through newsletters. Similarly, uh, another way in which the PRs are connecting with the organization, with the employees, is through idea boxes. This is a fairly new concept, especially in India. Idea boxes are basically boxes kept on floors, in which an employee, if they feel that you know there's something they want to suggest, something they want to share, a problem, but they also want to remain anonymous, so in idea boxes they could be sending in their material. It could be very small things like, the AC in the room does not feel comfortable to me, so kindly change the temperature of it. It's a very small thing, but for that employee to sit in a very cold environment every day is hampering his working. So, an organization comes forward and possibly changes their cubicles. Uh, a lot of organizations also do shop discussion or floor discussion. Especially in bigger organization, a day is set, possibly Monday or Friday, in which the whole group of people is included in a discussion, and they would be talking about various new projects, various new schemes, their problems, to directly to their bosses. So it would be a two-way communication. The point is, the employee should feel that they would be able to talk to the management. It should not feel like a one-way communication. So that's one way. These days, organizations are also including clubs and societies as a part of their organization, like a simple book club, a movie club, which would be participating in some kind of an activity, music club. Every month they would be doing something new. What happens is, when you join an organization, slowly and steadily it's all about money, and you stop thinking about your emotions, you stop thinking about the humane part of you. So to make you more humane and productive, organizations are creating clubs and societies in the organization, in which the person would feel happy, do something of their interest, of their hobby. Bigger organizations are even creating adventure clubs, in which people would be working for 6 months, and then they would be going to a particular adventurous activity, like motorcycling in Ladakh, or a beach parasailing in Goa. So this is something the employees look forward to. It makes their working much more easier and much more compatible to the organization. A new concept again, PR, because it's a very employee communication is a fairly new thing. So all these newsletter would be something which organizations have been doing. But family day, Family day is something which organizations have introduced these days, in which they would be inviting the whole the the families of the employees. It again, it works two ways. The employees feel very comfortable, the employees also feel very comfortable bringing in their parents or their spouses or their kids, and the organization also sees another aspect of the employees. So uh, when there is a mutual bonding between the management and the employees feel much more positive towards the organization, and chances of their leaving an organization reduces. So I think I've summed up the employee communication fairly well in this class. There is also a part called house journal, which is meant for top level employees, which we would be sharing in the next session. Thank you so much. And just in case you have any kind of question, any queries, please feel free to ask me in the next session. Thank you so much.